So anyways, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to switch it to 20 quarters, which I know is probably going to make it a little worse, but I'm going to start there. Then also keep in mind that this is why. So this deal you said is two tenants and a piece of in retail
Physical
building.
therapy, yeah.
Yep. So you got a 3% increase a year. I don't know here, let's see, 2783.
And I don't know if it changes anything, but so like the spine and wellness, they do 9% every 3 years, and then the bagel shop's 3% every year. And instead of like making it complicated, I just did 3% annually.
That's fair. I think that's a fair assumption for now. You also have zero vacancy, by the way.
Oh, well, yeah. I was trying to make the deal look better.
All right, we'll come back to that. Don't worry. I'm just gonna say I'm gonna
Okay.
put 5% here, but I understand what you're trying to do. No worries.
Yeah.
So, just the one thing I also want to stress to you is this, guys. Like, right off the bat, I'm not obviously I don't know much about this deal, but immediately I'm looking at okay, it's 5,000 feet, and we're asking for 400 and something dollars a foot,
Yeah.
450 a foot. Very hard to make money, by the way, when you're paying 450 a foot overall. Okay, I know it's Totowa, which is not exactly a bad area, but overall, I'm just saying in general, that is a very difficult thing to do is make money on that. You can probably drop this down to 15,000.
Okay.
And you can probably make this 50. It's a little bit more of a standard deal. We'll come back to all that in a little bit. All right, what I'm guessing is, yeah, this is what I was guessing. Are they on triple net rents or are they on
Yeah.
gross
They're
rents?
on triple net.
Okay, so what's happening here is that it's not I don't see it including this is what I'm guessing is happening, right? So there's
Well,
not
I
a
did.
reimbursement
So
function.
you see the monthly and then the total monthly.
Yeah, so that's only calculating this. That's it. Like there's no reimbursement. So we can just add a column here and this will be reimbursements. All right. So we got reimbursements and then this is going to equal, let's do some quick calculation. So you have property taxes, insurance, they pay all expenses. And so, I mean, obviously this is very light, but overall we can just calculate, I'm still going to add in everything. The only thing that they are not going to pay for are the following, right? Like I know they're paying triple net, but do the leases include covering things like the roof, other stuff like that?
Structural.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean they just recently refinished the roof and parking lot.
Okay, that's a plus. I'm just curious who would handle that, like HVAC systems.
It says that both tenants have made significant capital improvements.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm sure in the units for sure. Because it's like, okay, let's see. I mean, like leasing fees, other. I mean, we don't have accounting slash ad. And we don't.
So landlord is
Oh, I see.
responsible for repairs of the roof and structure of the building, common area, repairs and maintenance, and exterior repairs and maintenance. Tenants are directly responsible for utilities, trash, and snow removal.
Okay, great. So, like as an example, like we're gonna have repairs and maintenance. Like even you want to budget for it regardless, right? Like so, watch. What's gonna happen here is that our repairs and maintenance budget is probably gonna be something similar to like let's just say 6 G's a year. You have 10,000 a year. You might have to go to 10, but I'll show. We'll make some adjustments after that. Landscaping.
So they have that in their OM as 2495.
Okay, that's fair. Utilities, I understand. Snow removal, they handle anyways. It's understood. Let's see here. Overall, the only other thing here is I'd probably add in, let's just say 2,400 for reserves and accounting fees, another 2,400, because you're going to have something. You can have zero for leasing fees. I know they're in leases right now, but let's just say another, I don't know, because look, what's going to happen is that they're going to cover my property taxes, they're going to cover my insurance, they're going to cover the landscaping, right? But they're not going to cover everything else, right? So like they're going to cover these three items, which totals 31,673. So basically, if you take the 31,673 and divide it into 5,000, that's about $6 a foot. So I'm saying they're going to be able to reimburse $6 a foot. So our reimbursements here are going to be equals this times $6 a foot. Okay. And then we're going to change that because we're going to do that's going to be divided by 12. So they're going to take that and then they're going to add plus this reimbursement. So now it's going to include it. Okay. So now it includes the reimbursement. Now we can see that this is also increasing by 3%. You can't get rid of a vacancy factor. You need a vacancy factor, but at least this is growing continuously. And now our expenses are also going to grow continuously at 2% per year. They're at 58. I don't know why it says 59 and then it tails off. Okay, this is 20. I don't know why that's weird.
Oh.
Okay, and then also what is happening here? It's also two.
The template that you gave me was based off of another retail spreadsheet that you made
Mhm.
where the rent escalations changed per tenant and you kind of manually,
Yeah, no, I understand. But what I'm curious is that the expenses are also up or down. It's the weirdest thing in the freaking world to me.
yeah.
Okay, this one here is strange to me. Why is it not going for the entirety of the period of time? All right, so let's just get rid of that and I'll add it here. Really, it's an irrelevant thing. So let's just do 40,
42.
4,200. Yeah. All right, that's all fine. Now we fix that issue. Now it still drops. I don't
Yeah.
understand how the hell it drops. Okay, because income, look at this. The income drops because this is a 5% factor and it says the income is dropping in quarter six. What is happening in quarter six? This happens. 2,700. Why is that happening?
I think you manually put that in,
That
but I
makes
don't know
sense.
how
Okay,
to.
got it. So then now we have to fix the issue, right? So what I would recommend is that we just do, okay, ready? I can't really, trying to fix it is going to be a nightmare.
Yeah,
Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm just going to create another row
delete the
and
row.
then delete that exactly. Okay, and let's get rid of all this nonsense. Do not know why it's occurring like that. Delete. Yes. Okay, now we're cleaned. Okay. There's always a reason, right? Spreadsheets are
Yeah.
meant to, work perfectly because numbers are numbers. To that, okay. Now we're growing. That is why, because now it was dropping off the income drastically. Now we're higher. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Okay, we're in the positive.
That's good.
We're in the positive. Okay. Not be function divided by zero. I don't know why it's saying all this. Let's go to our cash flow statement now. We were horribly negative until the end, which we were completely negative. Okay, what the hell's going on here? The cash flow after debt service looks like $42,000. Okay, that makes sense. I don't know why it's stating 65 grand really fast for whatever reason. And again, some of these sheets get screwed up, right? Like
Yeah.
it is what it is. Like, so I think that we just reset it. I think we go to a new sheet that's not screwed up. And I think that will help a lot. So give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to find a retail. Where's another retail one I have? All right, we'll just use this one. Let's make a copy. We're gonna call it retail. Here we are. Okay, brand new sheet. We're gonna use this one in 1 second here. Let me just clean it up a bit. Uh, let's get rid of all that. And we can get rid of, oh, Jesus Christ. Get rid of all these. Never mind. I don't want to use this sheet.
That was the sheet that I used
That makes sense.
originally.
That makes sense. Give me a second. All right, let me stop sharing for 2 seconds. Let me just find you a new sheet. Okay, a new clean sheet. Because what happens, guys, is like a lot of these sheets, over time, I've used it 100 times. Like then I try to play around with certain things, and then all of a sudden, yeah, something screws it all up. And yeah, I'll take responsibility because it's probably my fault. Okay, everybody, let's go over here. Let's jump over to this one. Copy link. Done. Let's jump into the chat. That one was a little bit messy. That's sort of what happens when they get messy, right? They just absolutely make it very difficult to make things work. Okay, so we're going to get rid of this. We are going to just plug in your details from your spreadsheet. Retail, blah, blah, blah. We're going to income. Let me just see what is the calculation. All right, that's all fine. Should be good. And square footage is right. That's right. These are right. These are right. Reimbursements is right. That number plus that number. You know what's funny? This is actually different from what you even have on your sheet. On your sheet, you have 9761, which is saying that because
Because I had the reimburse, that was my column for reimbursements.
mm, got it. So technically you were doing divide by 12 plus that. H7. What is H7?
So
You're
the
adding in the
base rent
rental.
plus the reimbursements. And on the OM, it said that the reimbursements for that tenant was 12,328.
Got it. Interesting. 12,328. 12,328. Okay, so that's exactly 1,000 and change a month. That's fine. I honestly because honestly, I feel like mine's actually more realistic.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm not going to change that. I have 3% there and I have the 5% vacancy. Let's just make sure we plug in some actual normal expenses from your sheet, which will be someone's knocking on my door. I wasn't going to answer it. Okay. Landscaping, what did you have? 24.95.
24.95.
Okay. I think we did 6,000 a year. Not 60, we have 6. Okay, marketing and leasing, we wanted to do 1800. Reserves, we're going to be bringing
It's
these all down.
18,000.
Yeah, we're going to bring these all down. Okay, actually, sorry, this was 1800, and this one was the one that was 6,000 or so for the year. Okay, and then that was 5%. Okay, we're back. This is about where we were, give or take. So now, okay, this guy's the fourth document. One second. So let's dive back in. So now we're all on this sheet. We're good. This sheet is now working. There's no issues. Let's get back to this sheet. Okay, it is still saying that we're going to have some issues because we're saying $7 million. Let's clean this up. We're going to do 15,000. Closing costs we're going to say are 50,000. We're also going to say 7.25% interest. We're going to do 60%. We're going to clean that up in a second. Amortization. You might be able to sell this for a 6.5. Anyways, here you are. So, long story short, like all the cap rate, this type of stuff is making a little bit more sense. Is this looking about right? So, they want 227. Are you going to get the listing, or what are you trying to do?
No, I want to pitch it to my 1031 buyer. But at the time, my numbers were wrong, and it was showing that in 20 quarters, it was going to be worth less.
That makes sense. Okay, well, at least we have more. We're now at more, which is nice.
The debt service coverage ratio is a little light.
Yeah, agreed. So this is the only issue that you're going to have right now, right? Is that you're going to probably have to put 50% down, or close to it. You're still buying a 6 and change cap. Now, obviously, they can be paying in cash, and then they refi out later. You're
right. So I have a question. Yeah. If he has 1.25 million in 1031 proceeds, would he probably put all of that down as the down payment?
Possibly. Or... You would have to. Here's the question. This is the problem. The question, because it's not the full, I don't know if you have all the information. So with the 1031 exchange, you have to replace the debt. So do you know how much debt he had beforehand?
Beforehand?
Yeah. So if you sell a building for $2 million, and let's just say you have debt of $800,000, and your profit is 1.2 million, 2 million sale. Let's say I'm hypothetically on this because 2.1 sale. 100,000 in closing costs, $800,000 loan, and you have $1.2 million left over. When you 1031, you have to replace everything. So you have to replace the purchase price, 2.1 or more. You have to replace the $1.2 million in cash that has to go to 100% into the next property, and you have to replace the debt of 800,000.
Got it.
Okay, all three have to happen.
Interesting.
Okay, depending on how much debt he has.
Like what he originally took out, or what was left over that he owed, that he had to pay off.
What he had, exactly what he had left over that he owed, that he had mortgages on that, or had a mortgage on that property. You know,
the only information that he gave me was that he has 1.25 million to spend, and that he would be willing to do 60 to 70% LTV.
So this one, 1.2 million, which might be a little bit. This might be a little too cheap, is what I'm saying.
Got it.
But you could present it. I mean, it could be decent. I mean, it's definitely, the cap rate's not exactly spectacular, but you can put it front and see what he says.
All right.
I mean, I would like to be coming in at like 1. I mean, I don't think 1.8 gets this done.
Right, but then it might definitely not be enough. But...
I mean, regardless of your 1031 person.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to say, like, where does this, in my mind, trade? This isn't horrible. This isn't a horrible deal. You got some decent tenants, 18 IRR, 8 cap day 1. Stabilized yield's decent. Equity multiples over a 2 at least. I wouldn't pay 1.8, but I think that you could probably get it done at 1.8. I think someone would be interested at 1.8. I'd probably be at like $1 million, which is still $300 a square foot, which is fucking crazy. But yeah, anyways, that's where I'm at.
Will you send me this updated spreadsheet, please?
Yeah. I think the link's in the chat.
Thank you.